Hi everyone, this is Janardhan from Target Success with the second episode of the CLAT Podcast. Here with me is Utkarsh Tyagi. Hi Utkarsh, how are you doing?
I'm perfect.
That's great to hear. So we had some technical difficulties, but it looks like we're going to try our best to have this episode get out to you guys. So just as I always start every episode, let me just tell you a little bit about myself. So my name is Janardhan Pashupati. I got ranked 38 in the CLAT in 2013, and I went to National Law School of India University. And I've had the privilege of mentoring over hundreds of students in the process of cracking the CLAT examination, both online and offline. We're going to talk a little bit more about target success, but towards the end of the podcast. This episode is really about Utkarsh and his really interesting journey to get the rank that he did especially in the time that he did. So Utkarsh, over to you. If you could just introduce yourself a little.
So I'm Utkarsh Tyagi. I'm a class 12 science student, but I've always been interested in the art subject. So approximately a month after the CLAT announced its exams in December, I applied for the exam, and I really forgot about it. I forgot to prepare about it. I just got busy into all the science subjects.
Right.
And about a few weeks from the exam, I just thought about it that maybe I should give it a try. And it was somewhat of a, I think it was some part luck, some part I think hard work, that I cracked the exam. I got AIR 2144, and I'm getting HPNLU in the second round of allotment list.
Congratulations, Utkarsh. Very well done. We're going to get into your interesting story about the exam. So but firstly, welcome to the family of NLUs.
Thank you very much.
So, what are you, just out of curiosity, okay, why don't we get into your story a little bit? So you said you're a science student. So were you preparing for other competitive examinations or what was your plan?
I joined Allen, which is JEE Preparing Institute in class 11th. And I joined it in such a way that I joined a dummy system of school, such that I didn't actually go to the school. I went to the Allen Coaching Career Institute instead. And it was just a dummy, such that they were just marking my attendance as a proxy. Uh, so I was essentially just preparing for JEE. I lost even right now. In a worse state than ever in form of my English. I had a better command over my English in class 9th and 10th. Uh, the thing is that in Ellen, you only focus about physics, chemistry, and maths and JEE. So the thing is, I was only preparing for JEE, and I had no thought of any other exam.
Right. So when did this idea of CLAT come to you and where did this idea of CLAT come to you from?
So after 10th, while I was discussing about which stream to take, my parents they were, they were pretty much against arts, as they were like that there is no career guarantee in there. But I had a certain inclination towards arts. At that moment, one of my maternal uncles suggested to me that I think about giving CLAT.
Okay.
And from there, I started to actually give it a thought. I didn't prepare for it. I just gave it a thought that I should maybe give it.
Okay, got it. And so did you ever formally prepare for the CLAT?
No, I didn't ever join a coaching institute. What I did instead was I bought a book written by AP Bharadwaj, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
It was for legal reasoning. I prepared for legal reasoning from that, and for the rest of it, I learned from YouTube.
Really interesting. So how long was your preparation journey?
I merely prepared for a week, just 1 week.
And you managed to crack the exam. That's
Yeah,
really
some of.
Utkarsh. What do you so you we when we were talking earlier, you were talking about where you attribute that success to in just a such a short period of time. So do you want to elaborate on how you ended up doing this?
So the thing is, see, everyone has some natural talents. I feel that everyone has some natural talents, and mine are that if you give me any concept regarding to politics, political science, geography, history, essentially any social science-based subject, I'll just look at it, and I have a photographic like memory. I'll just remember it, and I have a lot of history in. I have a lot of interest in it. On literally all of my books, which are not a part of my academic life, are from those subjects. So the thing is that I, it's just I must say that it's nothing on my part, such that I did a lot of work on that. It's simply that I have a talent for it, and I just read it and I cleared it.
Absolutely. That's becoming more and more clear. So were you have you thought of joining law school? Are you still going to write the JEE? What's your career plan? Do you
So what I'm currently doing is I'll be joining HPNLU most likely. After that, I'll be writing the exam again since I've realized that I might be able to get a better college if I write it again with a good preparation.
Absolutely. So, what did you do in that 1 week of preparation? So, you brought AP Bhardwaj's legal aptitude book and you referred to YouTube channels. I'd love to know more about which channels, but especially so that the resources so that everyone can refer to them. So, what did you do in that 1 week?
So in the 1 week, in the first 5 days, I wrote mock papers daily in the morning, just one mock paper per day. And after that, I used to refer to all my mistakes where I made the mistakes. And then I would read to the legal reasoning, law of torts, and all of those sections. It was sort of a leisure reading. After that, I would open there was a chapter, there was a channel named Legal Edge Top Rankers.
Mhm.
I used to open it and just refer some videos from over there. They had made some interesting one shots, such as important news topics, which I referred, and just that, nothing more.
Got it. And how many hours were you spending out? So, you spent 2 hours on the mock, I'm guessing. And how many hours were you spending?
Yeah, I spent 2 hours on the mock. Apart from that, I spent approximately 1.5 hours analyzing it, and the rest of the time I studied for most of the day. Most of the day, as in approximately 16 to 18 hours at minimum.
Wow, that's a lot of effort. That's a lot of dedication.
I mean, if one is passionate about it, it doesn't feel like work.
Absolutely. That it's really great to hear somebody. It reminds me of my CLAT preparation days, especially in the last 30 days when I was spending 12 to 14 hours every single day and reading up on GK, doing my maths, things where I was weak. So it's great. It's great to see, students still putting in that time, putting in that effort. So in that context, then, do you what were you doing in that mock analysis?
So in the mock analysis, the primary thing which I used to do was I used to focus on general areas, not specific areas, such that the first thing I realized was that one of the strong areas of mine was interpreting the reading sections,
Mhm.
but the weakest area of mine was maths.
Mhm.
So I realized that within a week I cannot correct my weak areas.
Mhm.
So instead, I focused on improving my reading sections such that, uh, for example, in the reading sections for legal reasoning, I realized that if I knew the law already, I could solve it better, I could solve it quicker.
Okay.
So I read whichever topic was there in the mock. I used to read the same topic in detail from the AP Bharadwaj book.
Got it. Got it. So, mock analysis is a very, very, very important part of people's preparation journey, right? It can really help you identify where your strengths are, where your weaknesses are, and how to solve for those, so that you can, when you get to the exam, you're actually in a strong position. So, why? But one thing I want to understand is what did you do in that 90 minutes of mock analysis? Like that's a long time. So how would you spend that?
I would go through individual questions,
Okay.
individual passages. For example, one passage denotes 5 questions. So in that passage, I would try to deduce that what did the consortium expect from me? What does it want from me? For
Mm-hmm.
example, in legal reasoning portions, one thing which is a common mistake I see a lot of candidates make is that they involve their personal opinions in it.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing I realized it that the consortium wants to see if you would involve your personal opinions or do you have a balanced EQ. So that analysis helped me understand that in order to give a better exam, I must at all costs never involve my personal opinion.
Right. That's very true, Utkarsh. That's very true. You've got to be as objective as possible. What did you time yourselves for the mock? Was time management a large part of your strategy?
Certainly. It in the early days, in the one of the first few mocks which I gave, I spent I don't think I even completed 75% of the paper.
Right.
So that was a huge issue.
Right.
So the to eliminate this issue, I bound myself to time restrictions.
Mhm.
I divided in such a way that I would spend 35 minutes on English, 45 on legal reasoning, and such that. And by the last day, I put it in such a way that I had placed no time for quantitative aptitude.
Right.
In fact, in the real exam, I didn't even attempt a single question from quant.
Got it. Okay, got it. So now let's talk about the real exam then, because your preparation journey was fairly short, but it was very focused, and there was a lot of work that you put in into that time. So it's really, great to see that. So how did you prepare for the actual exam, sitting in the exam? How was it the night before and going to the exam? Like, what was that like?
The night before, I initially had some thoughts, some negative thoughts regarding that how will the exam go. I was genuinely afraid because I was not doing that great in JE either. So I
Mhm.
was afraid that maybe I'm sacrificing a bit too much for a little exam. But eventually, I thought that since I've given so much, given an entire week to it, I must clear my mind. If I clear it, then all's good. If it doesn't go as well, I lose nothing. So I just went there with a clear mind, and I didn't have a single negative thought after that.
Right.
When I entered the exam hall, the first thing I did was make myself comfortable with the surroundings. I adjusted the table and chair. I kept the water at certain places where I like them. In short, I kept it as homely as possible.
Got it. And so, what was your strategy for the exam? Like, in terms of sections, in terms of time, were you able to successfully execute that strategy?
Yeah, I'll say that I was able to successfully execute that for a huge chunk. I had timed myself in such a way that I had managed to complete current affairs section first, since either you know current affairs or you don't know. So it will help you get comfortable with the exam. So I attempted that first in the first 12 minutes, 12 or 13 minutes. After that, I gave 35 minutes to English, since that's a forte of mine. After that, I gave 45 minutes to legal reasoning, and then the remaining time to logical reasoning.
Got it.
After
And
that, instead of giving time to quant,
uh yeah.
I just tried to go through all the remaining questions and submitted the paper.
Oh, interesting. Very interesting. So, how much time did you have left at the end of the process?
At the end of the process, actually there wasn't any time left.
Okay.
I mean, in case you're asking for how much time did I have for reviewing, I had about approximately half an hour or 50 or somewhere around along those lines. But I didn't have a single minute during the exam in which I was able to sit freely.
Got it. Got it. What were your feelings during the exam? Because I've mentored many students, and really good students and really good students ultimately end up being in a position of stress, or they end up missing out on opportunities because they are not able to maintain themselves during the exam. So how were you feeling during the exam?
I must say that I was somewhat stressed. That's because in the first mock that I gave, I had scored 83. which is a pretty good score for first mock, if I'm not wrong.
No.
But in the real exam, I think it was difficult this time because I wasn't able to solve as many questions, so I was stressed that why am I not able to perform as well here?
Right.
But later on, I realized it must have been difficult for everyone else since the cutoff was really low this time.
Right. Right. No, that's so I do want to talk about that. So I mean, we've spoken about how you usually had time at the end of your mocks, but in the actual exam, it ended up being you didn't have time. Plus, you were surprised at how much tougher it was. So, is there a difference between a mock and the actual exam? And if you think if yes, then what is that difference, do you think?
So the first thing I'd like to say is that during while you're giving the mocks, you're sitting at the same study table, you're sitting at the same place, the same surrounding in which you're comfortable. You have studied there your whole life. So in a way, your mind is comfortable with the surrounding and is able to concentrate in a single place. On the other hand, during the exam, you are distracted by all sorts of things, including the fact that the timer is constantly clicking on your future.
Yeah.
So the thing is, that really gets one. That is really a stressful situation that one can go through.
Yeah.
So one thing that one can do to manage this, in my opinion, which I did in the later stages, was that you can go to different places. You can go to a park to write a mock.
Mhm.
That will get your brain comfortable with unpredictability.
Exactly. I recommend the same thing to my students, which is try to get uncomfortable. Try to write the mock in as many different situations as possible because these environmental factors end up making a huge difference. Like, was there something specific you did? So, apart from writing mocks in different situations, was on the day of the exam, was there something specific you did to mentally prepare yourself or put yourself in a better position?
So my center for the exam was GNLU Gandhinagar. And if anyone has visited GNLU Gandhinagar, the first thing they'll notice is that it's based on brutalist architecture. It is meant to make you uncanny. So, so
Right.
the first thing I did was that I saw it as much as, I observed as much as possible while getting to the exam center because I was aware that this uncanniness is going to affect me when I'm going to sit for the exam. So in a way, I got myself comfortable with the uncomfortable during the exam as
Got it. Excellent. Excellent. Utkarsh. And did you write or think about writing ALET or LSAT or any other such exam?
well. No, I haven't given any other exam, although I was thinking of giving LSAT, but later on I thought that I'd rather focus on boards.
Okay, got it. Got it. And now you're thinking of planning of writing the exam again. So,
Yeah.
what is your plan of preparation or uh, what do you see yourself doing? Because you'll also be balancing it with your studies. So, how do you plan to go about that?
So my strategy will be the first thing is that the legal reasoning section is definitely going to be a lot better for me
Mhm.
while I'm giving the second attempt since I'll already be joining the college. The other thing is that for the remaining sections, I'll have to manage time out of my own personal space, and
Mhm.
it's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make and I must make. Since
Mhm.
these few mere, uh, I'll say half a year. Half a year of personal liberty gone is better than your entire life in captivity.
Absolutely. And why do you say that? Why do you put so much emphasis on the future?
See, I'm personally quite the ambitious person, in my opinion.
Mhm.
So I feel that it's not about making money, it's about creating an impact. I have seen for myself that if I do not stand up for myself, even in front of my parents, I'll say that there's nobody, not even my parents, who will one day stand up for me. And I want to protect all those people against such problems who are not able to defend themselves by becoming a lawyer. If
Mhm.
I become a lawyer, I'll be able to defend a lot of people from any accusation or helping them get across their legal troubles.
Mhm.
because they're essentially uneducated in terms of legal awareness.
Right. And how does getting into a better NLU is getting into a better NLU important to you in that mission?
Yes, certainly. Getting into a better NLU is definitely a lot better for me, since if I'm at a better NLU, better law firms will be ready to hire me, given that they have better reputations and so on. And thus, I'll be in a better position to help my clients.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, best of luck for your preparation for the next CLAT that will happen in a few months' time, Utkarsh. So, I'm really looking forward. Whether or not, whatever happens with that CLAT, I mean, congratulations again for all the hard work you put in. For a lot of people, it may seem like it was only a week, but I doubt that, well, I won't say I doubt. There are many hardworking students out there, but there's only a few who really put in that effort in that crunch time. And as I often say, the last 30 days are the most important in terms of preparation. So I can see that regardless of what happens with the next CLAT, I'm talking to somebody who's going to be a top ranker at HPNLU, and definitely somebody who's going to be taking the legal world by the horns when he joins the profession. So I'm really excited for the
Thank you
profession
very much.
in that context. So
Thank you very much.
thank you. So it was really a delight talking to you, Utkarsh. And if, like Utkarsh, you would like to uh, if you would like to have some more time in the process of preparation, as well as some more guidance, so that you don't have to necessarily put in 16 hours in the last week and help out and make sure that you can give your best foot forward at the right time. Please feel free to reach out to me. I'm Janardhan Pashupati. We at Target Success prepare students not just for the subjects, but for the exam. You can reach out to me on WhatsApp at 81475 80097. And it was lovely talking to you, Utkarsh. And regardless of whatever happens, I'd love to help you out since you're very clear in your plans. I'd love to help you out in your future preparations as well. If you ever feel like you need the guidance, if you need the help.
Thank you very much. The pleasure is all mine.
All right. It was really nice talking to you, Utkarsh. Take care. Have a good night.
Thank you.